All right, welcome back to Football with the Great American Youth. What was it now? We're going into week 6?
Week 6 now.
Week
Good to have
6,
you back.
episode 5. We have another guest this week, an employee of the second best team in New York baseball. I want to make that very clear. They are not the best.
Pretty close.
Yeah, close. They're okay, but not the best. But yeah, I got an exciting episode. Not a great week necessarily fantasy football wise or Commanders wise, but we'll get into it now. So yeah, I guess I'm just starting off the stories of the week. Unfortunately, mentioned the Commanders. We're going to start off with the rest of the NFC East store, NFC Beast, as it has been this season, probably the best division in the NFL. Starting off with the Eagles staying undefeated. They played the Cardinals. Cardinals they played, right?
Yeah, they beat the Cardinals in a close game.
Cardinals
17.
did like Jalen Hurts just playing really well. He had a really good soundbite after the game too, just talking about how no one cared when they were like. It's annoying because I don't hate this Eagles team, like the players on the team.
It's hard to, but the thing is, they also are the Philly team. Like, as a Commander.
Yeah, it's not the team, it's more where they are and the history of everything that goes along with them. But yeah,
it's hard not to root for a guy like Jalen Hurts. What he's been through, he's been through it all.
Yeah. And then, so obviously the Eagles and then the other two NFC East teams, Cowboys and Giants, doing great this week.
Yeah. The Cowboys, obviously they took down the Rams. It was like 22-10, something like that. They kind of embarrassed the Rams. Rams aren't looking too good. 2-3. I don't know. They'll probably still make the playoffs, but they need to figure something out on offense.
The offense just isn't looking.
The running game. Cam Akers, where you at, man? They need you. And Henderson. Or one of you. But yeah, Pollard, he was a beast, and Cowboys defense is probably the best defense in football. In the next game, as you can see, Giants kind of upset the Packers. I wasn't really watching the game much. It was 17-3 I saw in like the first half. I was like, all right, Packers got it. Next time I check my phone, it's like tie game, Giants driving. I'm like, what just happened? And Giants took care of business. I guess Brian DeBoer, I hope I pronounced that right. He's legit.
I feel like, we're short into, like, it's not that far into the season relatively, but how could you not? He's like coach of the year favorite, whatever the odds for that are. Like, he has to be the favorite by a lot. He's taken that team. That team was supposed to be the worst team in this division by a lot. I think maybe the NFC East being a better team this season, or a better division this season, isn't as much of a surprising storyline. But the fact that the Giants are, the second best team out of that group is pretty surprising. I think most people would have expected the Commanders to be there in place of them. So it's interesting to see that. Credit to the coaching staff that the Giants put in place, and how quickly they've been able to turn that around.
You also got to give credit to Cooper Rush and like what he's done with the Cowboys, because when they lost Dak, I was like, all right, that's it. They're done. You don't need to worry about them. As a Commanders fan, I thought that, but they've won every game since they lost Dak. So hats off to you, Cooper Rush. Let's get into that upset of the week here and blowouts of the week. As you can see, upset of the week. We took the Jets again, second straight week. They're kind of, Robert Saleh said. He said there's haters, and they're gonna prove it. They're gonna prove us wrong. And they have for 2 consecutive weeks. The Dolphins, everyone thought. Obviously Teddy Bridgewater getting hurt, no one could have predicted that. But
what is up with like these Dolphins quarterbacks? They just can't like Tua got hurt, and now just none of their brains are safe. Like, it really is unfortunate. And Skylar Thompson,
never been heard of him. He's hot. He kept it close, I think, until the very end.
Terrible.
But they need Bridgewater at the very least. Tua's out again this next week, so I don't know what's happened to this Dolphins team. I didn't think Tua made that big a difference, but apparently he is a big difference maker. Obviously Tyreek's a little banged up too, but yeah. You want to talk about those blowouts, Anthony?
Yeah, and then first blowout of the week, I don't know how you could have missed it. The Bills, I think that picture those two, Gabe Davis and Josh Allen, single-handedly beat the Steelers. Those two alone beat the Steelers. The rest of the team got 40-3. I mean, it was just dominant victory. The Bills look like, I mean, they're the best team in football, I would say. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure you could, that's arguable early in the season. You know, I'm sure you could throw some other names in there if you wanted to, but the way that offense, when that offense is on, they're on. Devin Singletary has like played like an actual starting running back this year. The receiving core, Davis has taken a step up. They have Diggs. Dawson Knox hasn't really been as involved as he was last season. He had the breakout last year, but they have weapons. Josh Allen, I mean, best quarterback, one of the best quarterbacks in the league, easily elite guy. So
best defense in football too.
Exactly. Von Miller joining with them now. I mean, there's no reason for them to not. They're the favorites in the AFC. I feel like right now they're favorites to win the league. At this point, that's just kind of the way it's looking. And then,
I think next week will mean a lot. I mean, they play the Chiefs, so that'll decide a lot.
I feel like the Josh Allen Mahomes matchup is just going to be like for the next decade. We're going to continue to see them battle back and forth in the AFC. Like that is going to be a fun matchup to see. But right now, I think the Bills are ahead of the Chiefs. I feel like they're the better team and they're going to get the better of them next week. And if it comes to that in the postseason again and they meet, I mean, the way it's looking right now, Bills are the better football team. They're a more complete team.
I agree.
And then second blowout of the week, there were two this week. So had to give you all two. Another rookie quarterback, another late round rookie quarterback. I guess we were talking about Skylar Thompson got into the game.
Third string. Third string.
Bailey Zappi out of, I think he went to Western Kentucky, started for the Patriots. And I mean, the defense really was more the story of this game for them. Shut out a Lions offense that I think was leading the league in points scored before this game. So for them to be able to come in and do that, I think there were definitely questions about the Patriots coming into the season. But seeing this performance, the defense is still there. People doubting Belichick. The defense hasn't gone away. He's still got that down. And Mac Jones comes back. And, this running game has been really good for them as well. Patriots might be a sneaky team. I mean, I feel like the Patriots are the Spurs of the NFL. Like, they're always kind of just there. Like, you can't count them out. They're a good team. They're going to be around. And you never know. They could cause people trouble.
Exactly.
All
Let's
right.
go to that Commanders check-in now.
Yeah.
As you can see.
So yeah, not a good performance. I will say, I mean, it started off kind of fun.
It's frustrating though.
Diami Brown, he's been gone. He nowhere to be found since he got drafted. But all of a sudden, this game, he got two touchdowns
out of nowhere.
Just came out. I mean, obviously in the wake, it was Jahan Dotson's injury got Brown on the field, but did well with his opportunities. That was fun to see. Brian Robinson making his debut.
Good.
That was good to see. Definitely, I think the way this game went, and obviously his first game back, maybe not able to do as much. But going forward, he's definitely I like him in our backfield for sure.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, this game kind of sucked though. Wentz, it came down to the final seconds. Wentz threw a pick.
Yes.
I think you give Howell a shot now. I'm done with Wentz. We're 1-4.
You think this week?
Not this week. I think you give Wentz another week or two. You have to. But this isn't Wentz's team. I mean,
he literally sold the game.
He's a placeholder for the time being.
It's been multiple weeks. I mean, at this point, I don't know. Like, are we in contention for one of the quarterbacks, like a first-round quarterback this year? Like, at this point, is that where we're at? Are we talking?
We have the worst record in the league. We're tied for the worst record.
Like, is that what we should be like? I feel like going into the season, I was thinking like wild card, like second in the NFC East, sleeper one. But now we're like, I don't know.
Yeah.
We're at like, that's not even what I'm thinking about. I'm more concerned with next season and who's going to be throwing to McLaurin, who's had a down year, and Curtis Samuel, who's like, we have the pieces on offense so clearly, but if Wentz is just selling.
Whoa, we need a line. The
line as well.
That's a whole other subject.
The line as well is an issue, but I think the line has had injuries. Lions had injuries this season, and I think that, you know, I'm not going to put it all on them. I think a lot of it, like elite quarterbacks are able to, I guess maybe just the way that like Wentz's archetype, he's a big athletic quarterback. When he was MVP at the Eagles, you know, he was able to move around, make things out of the pocket, in the pocket. You know, he has shown the ability to give us reason to believe that this shouldn't be an issue, but it is. And it's, you know, I guess we were hoping for the best case scenario, but we're getting the same ones that the Colts had last season, and just disappointing to see.
Well, I believe you have a guest now, right?
Yeah, so we'll let him
Hop on.
now.
What's up, Ian? How you doing?
Oh, it's connecting.
Still connecting.
There we go. Now he's on. Ian.
How you doing, man? What's up?
Boys, how we doing?
Good. How about you?
Chilling, man. I'm coming to you. Oh, those are some great pictures right there.
Exactly. We just had to.
That's beautiful.
Let's give you a little. This is the only group photo that is featured in any of these so far. This is proof that for all of the people watching, proof that we actually
friends at least
know
since
each other in real life. And this is all three of us in one picture. So.
Oh man, that's an album cover.
Yeah. Word. All right. So I guess, yeah, welcome. Founding member of the team. Well, we've been talking for a little bit, so we'll give you a little bit of time. Introduce yourself, talk about your team, you know.
Yeah. Well, no, I appreciate y'all. This is yeah, I like average finishing position 5th. Okay, that's mediocre. No, I like this. I like my team this year more than most years. I think I got a pretty good squad. I think it's definitely a little bit injury scary. I think Jacob said that in the last episode. I think it looks like it's like one like ACL ready to tear, like just everyone on this team. Saquon and McCaffrey, I can't remember the last time either of them played a full season. Sutton gets hurt a lot. But no, I think it's like if they stay healthy, I think it's a good team. I'm waiting for Kyler to just stop sucking. I don't know.
He'll pick it up.
I think he will too. You tried to get him for me, Jacob, and that wasn't a bad. He literally every game, dude has like 1 point at most by half.
It's frustrating.
Like maybe 1 point, if not negative points. But no, I think I like my running backs. I think my running backs are good. I mean, McCaffrey's floor is like 15 points every week. Saquon's been nice, but I think my receivers actually are, I think, better than I thought they'd be. I think Metcalf has gotten like 15 to 20 the last couple of weeks. Sutton, I mean, even in the most garbage game I've ever watched ever, Sutton had like 10 points in that Colts Broncos game. And then like Amari Cooper and Lockett are both top 15 in numbers too. So those are two guys who I could throw in. Sanders, this is like the classic fantasy, like Sanders and Cooper, whoever I start sucks, the other one goes off. It's been every week with them. The one I start just does terribly. And then Kelsey in there also is obviously a kind of a guarantee.
You can't go wrong with Kelsey.
He can't. He did his best for me this last week.
We'll get into that. That'll be
that was unfortunate, but I think this team has a chance.
I do too, definitely. Let's look at next matchup, right? Or no, the matchups that just happened. Recap
this week. So yeah, Joel taking the dub this week, beating Matt, another guest. Yusuke, we'll dive a little bit deeper into this matchup later, so I don't want to talk about it too much now, but a very close game. One of the most entertaining fantasy games, I feel like, just as a spectator we've ever had in history of years. Like this was a great game. Alex thrashed me. I don't even want to talk about that. That was just like a waste of time. Jacob,
another L.
Yeah, I would say it's
not looking good anymore.
I trusted Jacob. You never know.
It's not looking too good anymore, but yeah, you never know. And then Sammy beating Matt. Matt down to 2-3 after that 2-0 start. I love to see that. All that trash talking pays off.
Come back around, yes.
Nah.
Parmesan.
Yeah. I think I'm looking at like the different teams. I think Joel's team is a little fraud.
Oh yeah.
I don't
We were
know.
talking about that early.
Yeah, I
Well,
think I'm looking at his lineup right now. The dude's starting Dobbs from Green Bay. Like, I don't.
his receivers are garbage.
Yeah,
Just-
like he has like Keenan Allen at wide receiver 1. I mean, that's anyway if he ever plays.
He's played 1 week, right?
Yeah, this team is not going to stay 4-1. No
Yeah,
chance.
they were.
Let's start
I guess so
losing.
we'll
I
get
guess-
into the standings now. And as you can see, we're talking about Joel, number 2, but with one of the fewest points totals in the league. He's been
Near me.
defense has been elite this year. He stopped the scoring and somehow finessed his way to second place.
Mhm.
Damn. Oh, I'm down by 0.04 in total points scored.
Yeah, this
They
is the
have
only.
that? Well,
Well, this is the only week I've been rounding up the points in this table every week to a whole number. This is the only week. Yeah, and you and Sammy have been neck and neck. This is the only one you guys are on the same number, and Sammy literally like 0.04 ahead of you. So for the time
you had to
being-
put that in. Yeah.
yeah, so I
had
had
to.
to put it in. It was too close to not include. I had to.
Maybe if the Raiders went for 2, Kelsey would have got another catch, and I would be ahead of that. But or if they didn't,
Oh, oh yeah, but they didn't get it.
they didn't get it.
They should have. That was like so unfortunate for you, but
Everything had to go wrong, like everything.
yeah.
But that's how
Um,
it goes.
Yeah, as you can see, I really wanted Yusuke to stay as the only winless team because now I'm
Yes.
at the bottom again. But yeah, we'll get into that matchup that forced me to move back to the bottom in a bit.
I feel like he needed as much as I thought I should have won. That would have been pretty brutal for him to not win that after dropping a 130
If
130 bomb.
word, and if he dropped to 0-5, I mean 1-4.
That's it.
Not that anyone's really out of it at this
That's it.
point. But if
No.
you drop to 0-5, like playoffs are goodbye at that point. I feel like you're just on last place watch at that point. Like
Oh,
that's
Definitely.
Oh yeah.
I think between me, Matt, and Matt, Yusuke next week, if whoever loses next week, if we all lose, that might be it for all of us. Which is good for everyone else.
I'm
but
all for that. Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah, I was saying, the further down you guys go, the better.
Yeah, that helps you all out. Keeps you down to a 7-man or a 7-man race. So yeah, it's matchups. Yeah.
In-depth matchups now. Ian, we'll let you just get into it. How are you feeling? I guess we'll set the stage, I guess. For where we're at coming into
Monday night.
or
going to Monday night, I was like, no shot in hell. I was like, all right, like I'll watch and have fun and see if Kelsey just eats. But like, even if he does, like Waller and Devontae combined are gonna go off. And Higgins at this point still had yet to play when I was like thinking this because I think he played Sunday night, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, no chance. Higgins gets hurt, doesn't play, and then it's
Waller
Waller.
gets hurt, doesn't.
Yeah, and then Waller and this time Yusuke has no time to say he slept in and he couldn't. So he's stuck with these guys, and I'm like, okay, like my team didn't do that well. Like Kyler had my highest score was Kelsey, but before that was like Saquon with like 18. Like they did not do well. Miles Sanders did bad. My kicker had 1 point. Yusuke's kicker had like 20.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That alone was like I went into the night like no chance. And I actually wasn't watching. I like fell asleep early and I wake up and see the group chat and just Yusuke like going crazy, like no. And I was like, uh-oh. So I look and I'm like down like 2. Kelsey has 2 touchdowns. I'm like, okay, Waller's out for the game. Like I could pull this off. And then Kelsey gets his 3rd and 4th. I'm up like 9. I'm like, no way. Like, but then I'm still thinking like, I know Devontae's good for another bomb. Like, there's no way he's not.
What does he do?
And
What
of
does he do?
course,
He gets it. And then they probably should
exactly
have.
the point total we needed. Like 1.0.
I
Literally,
know.
exactly.
It was crazy. Like
Well,
I
I
checked.
thought you still had it. I
know when I saw it live, I was like, nah, Ian's good. And then I was like,
Yeah.
Even when
Oh,
Adam
God.
got it, I'm like, all right, they're gonna kick a field. There's still 4 minutes left. They should have kicked a field goal. Even if they go for 2 and get it, Mahomes just drives down. I truly believe if they got it and Mahomes was playing from behind, they go down and score.
Oh,
They go down.
Kelsey gets the points either way.
Yeah, he's gonna get a catch. He's
He
gonna
gets
get a
one
catch.
catch on that drive, if that.
7-5. He scored again.
But no, instead they go for two. Instead they go for two. They run the ball. Like that's ever worked in history. And then he's down by like an inch. And then they just throw like passes the sky more for first downs every play. No, that was brutal. I mean, I didn't think I had a chance, but then seeing that I probably should have won was that was rough. It was rough.
Teased you a bit there.
4-1 would have looked better, but
Yeah, exactly. The
thank you.
back and
With your
forth.
point total, you deserve it, but
Yeah, but
Yeah,
I think
I wouldn't have been mad at you winning. You know.
I thought it would have been hilarious if Yusuke lost. I don't
Yeah,
know. I was kind of rooting for that more than for me to win.
For that to be how Yusuke was 0-5, I think would have been fantastic.
I
Like
think that would have been great. Yeah, that would have been funny. Gabe Davis on his bench there. I think
I
that
know, Gabe Davis, but his bench like did pretty well this week. Like he was,
we both had a couple guys we could have started.
his team hasn't been bad, but he just is not good at picking his lineups.
I mean, it's hard. I'm not gonna lie. It's been hard this year. Hard
This year's annoying as hell lineups, dude. It's
committee
so
wise, a lot of committee.
also this is like the year of backup running backs stealing 1-yard touchdowns. Like Jamal Williams, Herbert on the Bears. Like these guys just constantly steal 1-yard TDs. Very annoying. But I think no, I think I got it this week. I'm not too worried about this week.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, next matchup. We won't take too much time on me because it was a drubbing, like we mentioned earlier. It wasn't really too. I mean, my team has been consistent. Like my team isn't great. It's not great, but I've gotten like around 100-ish point. I haven't had like a total flop week. I feel like my team's been relatively consistent, but I don't. Without Jonathan Taylor, like being Jonathan Taylor, my team is never gonna succeed.
Oh, you do have Taylor down there also?
Well, yeah, he was out this past week. I had him on IR so I could have the extra roster space.
No, your team's solid. I think I like Hollywood Brown a lot. I think he's been getting like solid like 15 to 20.
Yeah, I'm really happy about that trade. If for anything, the fact that I got Hollywood Brown out of that, I think
I think you need Pitts to step up if you want to have a good chance.
If Pitts was like what he was, if Pitts was the value of where I drafted him at, I would have won. You'd be one more week. But he's been garbage. I really should have just streamed tight end. If instead of drafting Pitts, I like waited to just draft tight end until the end and drafted another running back, then I would have been, because Antonio Gibson was like just waiting. That was like Brian Robinson was going to come back and that was going to be over. Rashad Penny out for the season now. Great. And AJ Dillon is just kind of like there. AJ Dillon's very matchup dependent, and Aaron Jones has been smoking him this year. So there's no telling how that backfield ends up like.
I will ask, with all due respect, who is Tyler Al? I don't know who that
Tyler
is.
Algier.
You can't
He's Atlanta's like starting running back kind of now. They're playing him and Caleb Huntley.
Was Patterson out last week?
Patterson's on IR.
Oh my God. Oh.
Yeah.
Well,
Algier, he's rookie out of BYU.
I do remember that name now, actually.
He was like a 5th round pick, I think. That's all.
Was he the one who stole Zach Wilson's girlfriend, or was that his receiver?
I don't know.
One of Zach Wilson's teammates on BYU. One of Zach Wilson's teammates, I think it was his star receiver, is now dating Zach Wilson's ex.
And this is why Zach Wilson started going after moms. Was this the reason for it?
This was this I think it was. I think
this was an origin story, and this inspired him to go after mom. I need to like pick up Zach Wilson now.
Now the Jets are commanding 3-2, and nobody here shuts up about it.
And the Giants.
Yeah, I guess.
And the Giants. The Giants are casually good. That's nice.
Yeah.
Not NFC East is back with an exception, but we'll get into that.
Yeah, we don't need to get into that more. My matchup didn't go well.
Jacob, I do feel like a lot of the people you play against still don't have great weeks, but you still
it's happened like 3 or 4 weeks now. I'll drop 80 points a week. Like
they do that, and then you just do worse.
I think I had like 92 against you.
Yeah, literally. I just don't get it. I get these Lions players in on my team, and of course they put up the whole team puts up 0, and I get 8 points
Your
from.
roster's not bad.
Yeah.
Like these guys have all gone off before.
Your
Like,
bench again too,
inconsistent.
like Kareem Hunt did well.
Those two
Lamar
receivers could
did
each get
well,
30
Pollard
points any
did
night.
well.
Easily, but I need Hopkins back.
Hopkins,
Like
yeah.
4 solid receivers. I can just do matchup based. I mean,
Akers
I'll
is supposed to be a dog.
Olave. I'm trying to trade Olave, but I need
Everyone
to
on
get-
everyone on your team is like startable.
yeah, that's what I think. It's just nobody's gonna try to trade for like a guy like Tony Pollard or like a Kareem Hunt who's a backup. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Nobody
I
really
mean, your
wants-
two
or Cam
receivers
Akers.
are both capable of getting like a 30 piece on a given night.
Yeah.
Your running backs are pretty solid too. Pierce has been good. He's good.
I
Yeah.
think your team will level out. I
Yeah.
feel like you're gonna, for as many weeks, like you're gonna have a few boom weeks. Or
I think your team's kind of more appealing than Joel's team, honestly. Just like on roster. I'm not like trying to hate on Joel's team.
No, I honestly agree. I don't think
Joel's team. Let's go. Let's go.
Joel, your team is dog.
Joe won't be on for a while, so we're good. You can talk trash.
You're gonna end up beating me in the final by like 1 point.
Yeah, no,
that's what's gonna happen.
Joel's perennial league champion, so there's no telling.
Also, it said in the beginning I had only one top 3 appearance. I don't think that counted the year I won it all, but then we just decided we weren't gonna put money in that year.
Yes, yeah, I was saying this doesn't. This
I was
isn't
a champion that year.
This isn't the complete league history. This is just
Oh,
the
yeah.
Last
current
3 years.
ESPN league. So I guess the past 3 seasons, and then this is the 4th one on this ESPN.
I don't think I've never gotten like was in danger of getting last, except last year. I think I was on the borderline of either making the playoffs or getting last because all of us were like 4 and 5 when it came down to the last week. We were all just
Yes,
like
it was so close. The
Yeah.
whole
we were all fighting for both playoffs and not getting last place at the same time.
I remember that.
Yeah, we were all below average.
Definitely.
All right, so I guess we're talking about it a little bit. We'll let you talk about your matchup going into this week against Adwin. You got a little. I feel like this might be a little tense
35
week.
point projected win right now.
Tense week in the house. You can't be smacking up on your.
Well, I don't live with bro.
I
I don't live with him. We went our separate ways.
Oh,
I got offered to live with friends from work. It was a quicker commute to work, but I'm still with him pretty much like every day or every other day. Dude, he's like into football now too, which it's funny. He's like
weird.
talking about it and stuff.
this will make it even
He
better
never
to
will.
smack him. Then you get
No,
to
I
smack
will.
him, to go home alone, sad, and he knows what's going on too. This is just.
I'm looking here. I got lucky as hell that he has Derrick Henry out, and I think someone else on his team was pretty
Sudden.
good.
No,
So-
no,
No,
sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I want to.
Yeah.
Say it's a receiver, but I don't know.
Yeah, I
I
want
don't
to
see
see.
him as like great.
No, I think it's who's out for him. Swift's hurt. Yeah,
No,
Swift's
well,
hurt.
I guess it's their bye week anyway.
Yeah,
You know?
it's their bye week.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm looking. I legitimately might throw Tyler Lockett in and have a 2 Seahawk receiver match. And because Geno Smith has been slinging. I mean, both those guys have been playing pretty
That's going to be
well.
a high
Those
scoring
hurt.
game.
Yeah, it will be. It should be. I mean, then again, though, Kyler Murray always somehow is like 3-0 at the end of 3 quarters. So I don't really know but that one should be pretty good. Sanders, man, I just know, like, for his sake, I should bench him because he'll probably drop like 200 yards and 3 touchdowns. But yeah, and then Greg Joseph can kick rocks. I hope Harrison Butker's back. I hope Harrison Butker's back so I can throw him in. I don't like having to bench a kicker because he's hurt. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, you don't want to do that.
Might need to adjust that Buffalo defense there against KC.
Yeah, you're literally projected to win in every relevant position besides
Yeah.
kicker and defense, which those aren't relevant really.
I can fix that probably with a couple.
Yeah, I would say waivers fix that.
Yeah, I don't even know honestly. Anything I should win this on paper, but I know anything can happen there.
Yeah, anything.
I'm worried about Saquon coming down to earth a little bit. I
That's
think
true.
he could. I think McCaffrey's going to keep playing well.
You should.
Their team's just an absolute mess right now, though. So I don't really know what's going on there. But no, I like this week's matchup. I think I should have a win.
Yeah, it looks like you should.
Yeah, you should. And your team has depth. I feel like your regardless of what matchups you put in this week,
I kind of want to just throw out like Amari Cooper and Lockett and just throw out some weird guys and see what happens, but I can't really risk that.
might as well.
Yeah.
Good this week.
Pretend like fantasy football is real football and be like, let me give this guy a weekend off the bench. Like, let me get him some playing time just because.
Give him a shot. Yeah. I think I'm happy I took Kelsey early.
Yes.
That's a big pick.
Yeah.
Good pick.
He just doesn't age.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, otherwise I think I'm set.
All right.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. So
Dude.
This is the first photoshopped photo that we've had here. You're the only head that's gotten to be placed on something.
Dude, are you saying I'm gonna get traded?
Who is that? I had no clue. I just
Jacob DeGrom.
Did DeGrom get traded?
May. He very well may.
Okay, well, you're not gonna. Is he good?
He's arguably the best pitcher ever.
Okay, all right. So it does. All right. So this is what so that's why I picked it.
Okay.
You get to be DeGrom. You're our DeGrom for this episode.
Okay, I love it.
Yeah.
Go
nice
Mets.
I guess just any.
I'm actually going to the Yankees game tomorrow just to feel something again.
That'll be sick though.
That'll be dope.
Yeah.
I'm actually going with Adwin, so
Okay, that would be
I can scheme a little bit.
Is that game 2 or game 3?
It's game 2. I think it's supposed to rain, so it might get rained out, but it's game 2.
That's so cool. That's
Oh,
sick stadium.
Yeah, we had to get like upper level for like $100.
That would be fine.
That's so sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, thanks for coming on. We appreciate
Of course.
the time to be on.
Fire. I'm glad to have another one of the boys on. Wish you best
Always.
of luck this week. Have fun at the Yankees game tomorrow. And yeah, we'll talk soon.
Thank you, boys. Best of luck to both of you guys this week.
Thank you, man. Talk to you later.
See you. All right. So another guest down. Glad to have Ian on. We're just talking about we made it through half of the other league members at this point now. We're down. It's 2 of us, 8 other league members to interview. We've gone through 4 of the 8 now. So
Half the league.
got to make it around to the other 4 in the next few weeks. That's surprising. I feel like that we've made it through this many in consecutive weeks. I'm proud of.
Just a pat on the shoulder.
Yeah, I would say, I'm gonna hype ourselves up a little bit about that one. That we've managed to get people together.
But next week we have a special episode, no guest, head-to-head matchup, which you'll see.
Yes.
You'll find out about next week.
Yeah, say special episode next week. We'll take a break and then hopefully get back on to having some of the guests on. But I guess before we get ahead of ourselves, we'll just get into next week immediate matchup. So I'm going up against first place Sammy, and
Undefeated Sammy.
Undefeated first place Sammy, and I think I'm going to get washed. I anticipate a similar result to last week for me. Jonathan Taylor did not practice today. So while he's in there and his projection is there, I'm not anticipating having Jonathan Taylor start. In reality, Tyler Algier will probably end up starting for me again, him or AJ Dillard. And honestly, I just feel like Algier is like, I don't know. I'd rather go with Algier. But yeah, Sammy's team is the best in the league. He has Lamar. Lamar's been dirty. Cup and Diggs, literally the top 2 receivers in the league.
1 and 2.
He's been streaming tight end in the past few weeks. I think.
No, Njoku's been his guy the last couple of weeks.
Yeah,
he's been
he
good.
picked up Njoku though off waivers. He didn't pick Njoku.
Yeah, you're right.
And he picked him up, and Njoku's been rocking for him. He has a lot of injury. He had Cordell Patterson, drafted Elijah Mitchell, but obviously had the handicap and Jeff Wilson there, has James Conner. Sammy just has a deep, really good team. His flex, I will say, is the one place where it's like iffy, but his receivers are so strong and Lamar is so good. And he has like a plus tight end in Njoku that it doesn't matter. And I don't know, while the projection is close for me, especially if Jonathan Taylor is out, this week is going to be another L for me. And I do not want to drop to 2 and 4. That is not what I'm looking for.
It'll be good.
Yeah, that's rough. So I'm potentially looking to make a move this week. Jonathan Taylor, I'm we were talking about this, and it's like, it's not that I'm not open to trading Jonathan Taylor, but the idea of Jonathan Taylor and Nick Chubb, like that 1-2, like what Sammy has at receiver, in theory, I should have at running back. And that is more valuable at running back than it is at receiver. If I have Chubb, like Ian earlier, he has McCaffrey and Saquon. I feel like Chubb and Taylor can be better than that. Like in like
They can easily be a 1-2.
These should be two of the best running backs in the league, two of the top 5, at least, I feel like, for sure. And Jonathan Taylor just hasn't shown up this year. So disappointed with him, but no, the receivers are okay.
You can still turn it around.
Yes, I could do well if Kirk, he's had a few down weeks, but I think it'll ease up. We'll talk about his matchup this week in a little bit, but I like my receivers. Marquise Brown, I think that was a good move. Have Mike Evans too. So I don't know, it's solid, but especially this week against Sammy, I'm not feeling too confident, and to drop to 2-4 would be rough at this point in the season. We're starting to get into, it's kind of getting important now. Those games back from the playoff spots in the first place is starting to mean a little bit more. Dropping to 2 games behind 500, I think would be it's going to hurt if that happens. So not looking forward to that.
Me, on the other hand, I'm fighting to be back to 2 games down to 500. I'm trying to win. Well, I'm not playing Adwin, and the teams are raw. I'm actually on the left, but I'm playing against. Who am I? I think it's Adwin this week.
Yes, it says on the.
No, I played Adwin last week. Sorry, that's wrong though. I'm playing.
You play someone else this week? Oh no,
I'm playing Matt Levin this week. That's Matt Levin's team.
Oh,
Yeah, we messed that up a little bit, but
pretend that. Well, is that Matt's team that's up? That is Matt's team.
That is Matt's team.
Okay.
So we're not wrong. I mean, you can see the projected total is correct. I mean, obviously not with me on the right side. I should always be on the lower projected total side. But yeah, as you can see, he has Justin Herbert on his team. Easily two of the top 4 receivers on his team with Justin Jefferson, Tyreek Hill. Hopefully Tyreek Hill is out for me. J.K. Dobbins has been kind of inconsistent going up against the Giants. Could go either way. Aaron Jones, a little inconsistent as well. I honestly like my chances, even though the projected total doesn't make it seem that way. I have solid receivers in. Obviously, Olave might not play, and I have an option at flex, which will probably be a running back. Probably Tony Pollard I'll put in there. Going up against the Eagles, I think it could be a good game for him. Those are kind of the games he goes off, those Sunday night games, I feel like. I have Ertz going up against Seattle. I love that matchup. I also love Godwin against Pittsburgh, Debo against Atlanta. Only thing I'm not too confident in is my running back situation. Cam Akers I have to play this week because my other running backs are out with Dameon Pierce and Jamal Williams. That's, I guess, my RB2 now. So yeah, Cam Akers against Carolina. That should be a good matchup in theory. Carolina hasn't been the best defensively. Hopefully Cream can turn it around. It'll be tough though against New England, I think, but we'll see. I think it'll be closer than it looks. If I win, I will pass Matt in the standings, hopefully, if I can score enough points, which probably won't happen.
Are you lowest point scored in the league?
Yeah, I'm the lowest. But I think I honestly have a good chance. If I beat Matt, we'll have the same record, 2-4. Matt's gonna be so humbled down bad at that point. He's done.
I would love for you to just get another win over him, just for him to continue to take L's and like have to feel karma for his trash talk so early into the season.
Yeah, exactly. Let's take a look at those so high buy low now. First off, we got Melvin Gordon here on the left. I think he's arguably one of the best sell highs in the league in all of fantasy right now. The Broncos offense is officially overhyped. Russell Wilson is not him. He is. All
That's
these
right.
the Russ is being traded. It makes them
Right.
wash somehow, you know, like Russell Westbrook, Russell Wilson, ruin the Broncos
Oh,
offense, just like it ruined the Lakers offense. I think Melvin Gordon still has value now on that offense, just because he's an RB1 on a
This is true.
mediocre offense, let's say. You can get a lot for him right now. I think you sell him high as an RB1. He's not really worth that value. I think that's a bit fraudulent with considering how that offense is. But I think that's somebody you can try to get rid of now, maybe get some decent value back for him.
Yeah, and then the second one is Mike Williams for the Chargers. Obviously, he's been doing well to start off the season, and Mike Williams is by no means a bad receiver and not someone who's bad to have, as a flex going forward, maybe. But I think he's played at a wide receiver 1 level up until this point, and you could probably get around that value for him, wide receiver 1, or like low wide receiver 1, high end wide receiver 2. With Keenan Allen coming back soon, presumably, you would think that some of those targets, a lot of those targets are going to go away for Williams. And it's not to say that he won't, and again, it's not to say that he won't have value similar to Melvin Gordon. He's going to have value going forward. But I think this week, especially, Keenan Allen, not really sure if he's coming back this week, but this week and going into next week, this is probably the peak value you're going to be able to get from Mike Williams. So if you have a deficiency in your team, get him off. Get him off now. You'll be able to pick up some good value, and you've already won the matchups you're going to win off of Mike Williams already. So move on from him, pick up someone who's going to be projecting a little bit more upwards in terms of their trajectory for the rest of the season, as opposed to Williams, whose wide receiver 1 efficiency is really dependent on if Keenan Allen's out or not.
I agree.
All right. Yeah. Going into the buy low, I guess we're going to start off with Keenan Allen. He coming back from injury, presumably this week, maybe this week. If not, we think next week, but he only played in week 1, did like a little bit and didn't really do a lot. But the way that the Chargers offense has been looking, you insert Keenan Allen into that, especially the way they looked against the Browns. I mean, Eckler's looking crazy. Joshua Kelly was putting it, like, the running game is really getting going, even with some of the injuries they've had on the O-line. Mike Williams has been doing well. Everett's been doing well, even though last week was a little bit of a dud for him. But just like, they have the weapons and pieces that are already performing. Throw Keenan Allen in there with them, I feel like that offense is just going to elevate even further. But Keenan Allen is the best weapon out of all of them. So if he's on, if he's available in your league, if a team isn't relying on him and you can maybe get him a little bit cheaper, then otherwise he's a guy who, opposite of Mike Williams, his targets, I mean, he hasn't had any targets for the past 4 weeks. So his targets are going to go up. His value is only going to go up from here. And as the Chargers offense continues to get into the season, as Allen, starts to warm up a little more, kind of get into the rhythm of playing, he's only going to continue to play better. So definitely someone to buy now if you can get in on it.
Yeah. On the other hand, there's Jalen Waddle. Obviously everyone knows about the QB situation there. It's a bit messed up, let's just say. Tua's gonna be out for a bit. Bridgewater could be out this week. Skylar Thompson, as we mentioned earlier, is potentially again the QB1 on that team.
ESPN has Tua listed as the start, like they have him projected to start.
He's been ruled out though.
Oh, has he been ruled out already?
Yeah.
Okay, I was like, for his fantasy points, they have it. Or okay, I guess he is.
Like
earlier today, he was the top projected QB. I was like, oh my god,
wow.
Okay. It's great.
That's oh my god. But anyways, Waddle. I mean, well, with Tyreek Hill questionable, he was in a walking boot after the game. It's never a good sign. They're going up against a mediocre Vikings defense. You never know. Like Waddle could pick up some. He should be the main guy. He should be getting all the targets. Should be getting fed. I'd assume he gets at least 5 or 6 catches, considering Tyreek Hill. Even if Tyreek Hill plays, I think he should get a decent amount of catches. And I think that could be a high-scoring game. So it's somebody to look out for if you can get him low. He hasn't been playing well the last 2 weeks. I'd try to get him now if you can.
Yes,
Especially with Tyreek Hill out.
I think it's more the quarterbacks. I think it's more the quarterbacks than anything for him. If he has an actual quarterback, then
he'll produce.
They'll be fine. Him and Tyreek Hill will both produce, I'm sure.
Definitely. Let's go on those waiver wires. Every single person on this list should be picked up in every league. I don't care what league you're in. 4-person league, pick them up. Kenneth Walker, RB1 on arguably a top 5-10 offense in the league now. Geno Smith is him. He's proven that he's better than Russell Wilson. He should have been starting all these years.
Clearly.
With Kenneth Walker, DK Metcalf, Lockett, there's some studs on that offense. Kenneth Walker is somebody definitely you'd want to look out for. I would target him if you can pick him up. So as well as Taysom Hill, obviously everyone knows about his 40-point game as a tight end, which is kind of ridiculous. But
it's like 2 times a season he just decides to be the best fantasy player in history, and it's like I don't know. I was watching this thing earlier. It was like I'm curious to see because whoever picked him up, I forget. It might have been Sammy. I don't know who picked him up, but someone's starting him this week. And it's like, I feel like this happens every year. Taysom Hill has this game, and then there's a rush to get him. And then we start him. It was worse when he was the one year where he was playing quarterback and you were able to start him for like a week at tight end or whatever.
Yeah,
that was filthy. That was ridiculous. But it's like, I don't know. He's definitely a good pickup, but I'm curious I think it's just interesting to see how much the Saints will continue to use him in the offense because he's effective, but he never really seems to keep it up. If he keeps it up, especially as a tight end, it's crazy value. Like that's worth it for sure.
I mean, you'd think he'd continue to get fed. If you have a game like that, you deserve at least 5-10 touches in the next game. I would play him if I had him. I would pick him up if he's a free agent. And then last but not least, Anthony, you want to go with Marquez?
Yeah, so we got MVS for the last one. Really just, I think the Chiefs offense has been interesting this year. Tyreek was kind of the clear number one with Kelsey in years prior. So all the focus was on them. All the targets were going towards them. But without Hill, Kelsey has maintained kind of his number one status in the red zone. He's definitely the top target. And just generally, he's Mahomes' number one target. But the rest of those receivers, MVS, Mecole Hardman, I'm trying to think of Juju. It's kind of like Sky Moore's in there as well. It's kind of just like a grab bag of guys. Juju has been very good, and MVS is also starting to kind of gain more of a footing. And Green Bay, he was more of a deep threat. We're seeing now he's starting to get more consistent targets. It was coming with Juju being injured and out, so he was filling those snaps. But the way that he played, you would assume he earns a bigger role. And just in an offense that's as high scoring as Kansas City, if he can have the trust of Patrick Mahomes and, have that chemistry with him built up, that's a reliable receiver. That's someone who you want to have on your roster. So MVS for sure. Yeah, say flex worthy, depending on if they have injuries, he could be a wide receiver, low end wide receiver too. Like injuries and matchup make him a wide receiver too, for sure. And he's just, I think he's definitely worth picking up. But like we said, all three of these guys got picked up in our league. So
go get them.
Value here across the board. If any of them are available for you, go pick them up. You need them.
Yeah. We got the Chris's here with the best matchups. Chris Godwin and Chris Chin. So we got Chris Godwin here on the left. I think, as I said earlier, he's going up against Pittsburgh. I have him with Tom Brady both starting in my lineup. I expect that to remain the same as long as Godwin plays. I saw he was questionable today with another random injury that he picked up, but I expect him to play. I expect him to dominate against a shaky Steelers defense. I think Bucs will do similar to what the Bills did to them this week, 38-3, something like that. I expect nothing less.
Based off what the Bills did, the Bucs need to do if the Bucks are what they are supposed to be, they got to be in that ballpark. It's
They
got
got
to
to
be
win by 21 plus.
Yeah, I would say it's got to be like a 21, 28. Like they really got to put a beating on them. And if they do, Godwin will be a part of that for sure.
Yeah, definitely. And you got to start him if you have him in any league. As long as he's not like questionable going into the game, he's going to get the targets. He's been getting 6-7 targets at least a game. Start him as at least a wide receiver too.
Yeah, and then for me, my best matchup, Christian Kirk against Indiana. He's been a little bit disappointing these past 2 weeks. That's a lie. He's been very disappointing this past 2 weeks. He's sold. He's been garbage. But he's going up against Indiana. Indiana has been equally as garbage, thanks to Matt Ryan selling for the team, and in doing so, ruining Jonathan Taylor for me. Matt Ryan, honestly, is just like, I don't know if Indiana is just like a black hole for quarterbacks at this point, but Matt Ryan has come in and been worse than Carson Wentz. I feel like he's been even worse. And but that's not the point. I'm getting into a rabbit hole.
Topic.
Christian Kirk going up against Indiana. He did well against them. Week 2, he picked up 2 touchdowns. That was his highest performing fantasy game of the season with 20 plus points. I would expect him to do similarly. He's been a little bit out of sync with Trevor Lawrence the past few weeks, but he's still the best target. I think he's still the top target for him. I think, he's gone up against, with Philly in particular, just a good defense. And then against Houston, just out of sync, just not really the game that they were expecting. But I think going into this week against Indiana, a game that they already played, they won, Kirk played well in, played comfortably in. I'm expecting him to come into this week, rebound, at the very least, just kind of regain some of those targets that he was getting and put up a solid PPR performance. So I'm starting him in my flex, at least, a flex-worthy performance. If he can put up, 8, 9, 10 points. If he puts up double digits, I'm happy with him. But as long as it's 8, 9, I'll be happy with what Kirk gives me.
Definitely. So we want to thank you all for joining us again this week. We'll see you here again next week. Same time, Wednesdays, every week, rest of the season. As we mentioned earlier, no special guest, sorry. Just us two, special episode. Be there. We'll see you later.